You're on.
Good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm here today with Kim Cool from the Bullhead City Senior Center campus. What a big job.
It is.
I mean, that's just not just feeding these people, but it's entertaining them and keeping them busy and I'm sure falling in love with them and just being part of this world that's so maybe, you don't often want to look at that phase of life, I think is hard for some people.
I think it's a very hard phase. It's a hard phase for individuals that are in that phase of life
Yeah.
to think about. So we get a lot of resistance. Oh, I'm not going to the senior center. That's crazy. I'm not that
I'm
old.
too cool for that.
Yeah, yeah. And it's amazing to watch new people walk in and just see their faces when they
You're like,
get there.
This is really fun.
Yeah, there's things going on, and it's clean, and we get so many compliments. They're like, "Oh, it's really clean in here." I'm like, okay,
I
yeah,
bet
we could.
changing the idea of what people
Yeah.
perceive it is. We need to come do a spotlight on you.
There we go.
Yeah.
Anytime.
Jeff, we're doing that. We could do the aerobics class or something.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you want to do.
Zumba.
Oh my gosh, I love Zumba too. Well, that's it. We're in.
We do senior Zumba, so it might not be what you're quite used to. Yeah, I started out with the regular Zumba, and they're like, okay, this is
can't do
a bit
this.
much. So
Can
I'm
we
like,
get the modified version?
yes. I'm like, oh, okay, let me look. I'll find some senior Zumba. I'm like, oh, it is a little different. Okay.
Oh, I love it. That is so great. Well, Kim, I would love for you to kind of tell us a little backstory on yourself. It's actually super entertaining. I just spent the first half hour just talking about her world prior to this. So I would love to talk about the fact that right out of high school, you went straight into the military,
Correct.
and that kind of led you.
Kind of just led me in a good path. So I won't say that prior to high school, I was always going on the right path, but that's what changed things for me. I knew I wasn't going the direction I wanted to go in my life.
Yeah.
And I didn't have money to go to college or anything like that. I was living on my own. So I said, I'm going to join the Army and I'm going to get an education that way. And I did. And I learned, a lot of resilience. So I'm very happy for that decision. It was difficult. I cried the first 2 weeks
Oh, I bet.
every day.
Can you just send me back to my mama, please?
Yeah, I was like, what am I doing here? This is crazy. I don't want to shoot guns and throw hand grenades. Like, I just wanted to work on records and, that type of
Put
thing.
me in the office, please.
Yes, I signed up for the office job. So, yeah, I'm sure it was entertaining for my sergeants as well. But we got through it. We got
you
through it.
did.
Yeah, and it's the weapons thing was the worst because I'm not a gun person, and that was in the 6th week of your 8 weeks of basic training that I had to qualify, and I could never make the triangulation ever, like never. And
It's just
somehow,
not going to happen. What
yeah.
do we do now?
And I'm like, if I fail this, I have to start all over, and I'm not going back and starting all over. And by the grace of the universe, I'm telling you, I qualified as a sharpshooter.
Get out. We're like, who am I right now?
I did. And then I just sat there and then I cried about that. So
Do you think it's wild what you find in yourself when you're put up against a wall?
Yeah,
And I'm
absolutely.
assuming that's what happened. You were put up against a wall of the need, and your body just took into action.
yeah.
Woo, woo, woo.
Yeah.
That's so cool. So you did that you were in,
I was in the military for
12
12
years.
years, but I was a reservist during that time. So I did my basic training. I went to schooling to learn the records keeping. And then when I got back, there was a need within the reserve unit for a finance clerk. And they had nobody doing payroll. And so I self-studied, and my boss helped me quite a bit because he knew that aspect of it. So he
Yeah.
helped me train, and I got that qualification as a second MOS, and I started doing payroll, which was wonderful because who doesn't love the payroll lady?
Yes.
That's true.
Everybody wants to come see her.
So even, most of the unit that I was in was all officers and everything. And so but they were great to me, even though I was only a sergeant, but I always told them I was going to go into officer school just so that I could be Captain Cool.
Captain Cool. I love
That's
it.
pretty cool.
I was challenged to try to say cool as many times as I can. And Shane said if I could put cool into my sentences, that 20 times he'd take me to lunch. So if I say a lot of cool,
Really?
I
It's
think
only
you're
'cause she
really
wants a
cool.
free
It's
lunch.
'cause yeah.
Yeah.
I'm like, I'm in.
She's like, I'm going to have Kim Cool come
Yes.
talk on my show.
Yes.
Pretty cool.
He's like, well, how many times can you say cool? I'm like, I bet we can do 20. Okay, so ironically enough, this then led you into you had your family, wanted to stay home at this point.
Yes.
And then you guys are never going to believe this. Tupperware, what was it? Cool in the Gang?
Cool in the Gang, that was the name of my unit. And we were top 100 in the country, had a company car. That was probably, when you think of a family, and you're trying to raise young children, a car payment and an insurance payment, if you can eliminate those, that's a
Yeah,
big savings.
That's a big savings.
Yeah, so that's what I did. I got a brand new company car every year.
She literally raised her family, her part of it, on being a Tupperware.
Being
sales.
Tupperware, yes. Yeah, it didn't start out. It was just going to be my hobby. But then when my husband injured himself and became disabled, it was like, okay, you got to step up, and
Here we go.
here we go.
Back up against the wall. I'm taking the world on. I think it's so cool. We were just talking about the fact because when I was young, that's what you did. You went to Tupperware parties with your mom and you had a great time. And Tupperware, there wasn't regular like plasticware. It was all Tupperware back then. Everything I can remember was the green, the yellow,
Oh yeah, that was always the big thing, is the changing of colors based on the changing of time. So I would get my kitchen all done, and then they'd change the colors, and it's like, oh, all right, that's all got to go. Put that in the garage sales, and I'm gonna get some new. So yeah, we had a big pantry. I had done all in what is called modular mates. So every single item of food that came into my house went into these containers.
And they all
that were
clip
all
and they
marked.
all set so pretty.
Yes, and so I have.
Are you
this,
still obsessed with things like that?
Yes. Yes.
It might not be Tupperware, but it's still all organized.
Yeah, organization is huge. And yeah, I would put things, and yeah, it was the big joke for people to come to my house, and everyone always had to see the pantry and how cool it looked, and
Like you two can have this.
yeah, and then they would rearrange it all.
Just
And
to
I'm
try
like,
to drive you crazy.
really? So now the baking things are down here, and yeah, it's like, let's see how crazy we can make Kim.
Kim uncool.
Yes, Kim, very Kim uncool.
Kim comes uncool then.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I think that's such a great story. So then, as the kids started to graduate, that kind of brought you into what you thought was going to be Lake Havasu.
Yes, I just wanted to leave winters behind because I grew up in Buffalo, New York, which anybody who knows Buffalo is associated with snow and freezing cold, and I can truly tell those stories of how I walked to school
I
in
really did
thousands
walk
of
to
feet.
school in
I
snow.
have seen 84 inches of snow
Oh,
in
God.
24 hours.
Wow.
What?
Yes.
That's blizzard
No
conditions.
wonder why Kim Cool wanted to
I
come
was
to Kim Hot.
Yeah. When I was visiting one time, and I had a Chevy Yukon at that time. I was visiting my parents. I went back, and it covered my car. We dug it all out, and it recovered my car.
Where you're like, I'm going home.
I'm like, this is crazy. Yeah.
That's wild.
Yeah. The snow. I was done with the
Do you
snow.
get seasons there, or is it just really?
There's seasons. Yeah. I definitely get all 4 seasons, which, that's wonderful, but most of it is cold. Most of it is cold, and I'm just like, I'm done with cold. And so we went from there to Northwest Indiana, where I raised the kids, and I said, no more snow. No more
Yeah.
snow. So we stumbled upon Lake Havasu, thought I wanted to go there. couldn't really afford it at the time, and just started driving around and came to Bullhead City.
Of course you love Bullhead City.
Yeah, 2004. Everything was growing here, and we just started looking at driving from area to area, subdivision to subdivision, and stumbled upon where we live now here in Fort Mojave, just probably 5 minutes from where we are here.
Oh, perfect.
And found the builder that we liked, and we're facing Boundary Cone Mountain. I have Sun Valley Airport in my backyard. I just
Aw.
love it, you know.
Yeah.
And I said, this is the house. I remember standing in the backyard of where our plot was going to be, and so we started building and moved here then in 2005.
Wow.
hmm
That's a long journey.
It
to
was a long
hear.
journey, and it was a little nerve-wracking at the time. I'm like, okay, we know no one, we know nothing. Everybody's like, why are you going there? I'm like, I'm not doing
It's
winter anymore.
warm.
I'll make friends. I can make friends.
Yeah. Well, then I assume you're left against the wall again. Like, okay, now what do I do for work? Where do
Right.
I start?
Right. And I just started applying. I just was looking. I remember hearing coming into town, Murphy Broadcasting was hiring, and I was like, well, that would be fun. Working for
do
radio?
that.
Oh my gosh. That sounds like fun. And they were looking for basically people to back up their sales individuals and, you know, help them out within the office. So that's what I went in and did. And eventually they put me over like 5 different salespeople. So I would just help them
Yeah.
get their stuff on air, help them write what they were missing, take care of things while they were out on the road
How
trying to
fun.
do. It was neat. And a lot of times I would get to go with them when they were going to change copy, you know, and sit like you and I sat before we started and learn the backstories on all these business owners. So I met so many people, and I joined the Colorado River Women's Council and met so many people there, and it just all morphed together.
Well, and it sounds like immediately you got to see what this community was about. And
Yes.
probably fell in love like we all do because,
Yes.
you know, once you kind of get into those big steps and
Mm-hmm.
those names and those places, it takes you right into the why we all love this area.
Right. And so through the radio station, they wanted someone, you know, to serve as an ambassador. So I served as an ambassador on the Chamber of Commerce for I would say 11, 12 years probably.
Wow.
It was a long time.
Yeah.
Long time. And that connected me with so many people.
Yeah.
So when the radio station in 2008 crashed, and didn't crash, they didn't crash, the world
did.
the world did.
We all had a moment to figure out what are we
Yeah.
going to do with our lives.
My position was eliminated, and so I was lucky enough that one of the individuals, and if I'm allowed to name her,
Oh, yeah, you are, yeah.
Annette Wegman, saw something in me, and she said she was working in hospice at the time, and she said, we need a volunteer coordinator. You would be a perfect volunteer coordinator. And that's kind of where everything else took form, because I started finding out what hospice was about, and I was amazed.
So many different avenues of
You know,
them.
as I told you earlier, you know, when she first approached me, I was like, nope, not doing dead.
don't do
that's
that,
not,
she said.
Yeah, that's not me. I'm like, I want to be the
I like the fun stuff.
yeah. Yeah, little did I know how important. And once I learned that importance, it gave me a whole new outlook of trying to I always would say to my volunteers, it's never too late to make a new friend.
Yeah.
And I can't tell you how many times and how many stories that came back. You know, they would make a friend with someone
Yeah.
at their end of life. You know, I ran into a volunteer not too long ago who I had set up. The situation changed for the person that was on hospice, and they got better. You know, so there are success stories.
Yeah.
She still visits with her. They still go and they play games every Thursday, Friday night, whatever it is. They every week, and I'm talking how many years ago? I mean,
That's a long time ago.
2008, 9, 10, 11, somewhere in that range, to now they're still hanging out
Still.
together.
I can only imagine at that point in your life, things really changed for you just because you got to see, when you get to see volunteers, people who are just giving their time without any expectation of anything, going to these homes and being willing to open yourself up to those kinds of things. Maybe that's kind of what got you into the senior campus side of the world.
Absolutely. Everything about what I'm doing, everything that I've done has led me up to when I saw this job, I was like,
That's me.
I have to have that job. It was posted during COVID. I think I originally applied like in June or July. I was at my daughter's house in Tucson because I was fortunate during COVID that the 8 of us were together. My 2 daughters, their husbands, my 2 grandsons.
Nice.
We were all together when the
All of
world
that
shut
happened.
down. So we just kept traveling together from Temecula to Tucson to Bullhead City.
Nice. Just family trips.
We're
Circled
like,
around.
okay, we're stuck.
We're not leaving you. You're not leaving us. We're just going to cruise our home, our areas.
We're in this together, right? Wasn't that the theme?
Yes. Yes.
So, yeah, the job got posted. I was at my daughter's in Tucson, and I sat on my cell phone trying to fill out this enormous, but I was like, I'm applying for this job. I'm
This
not
is
letting
it.
this pass me. I need to be one of the first people in, the first one they see.
Yes.
Yeah, and
Don't
I wanted
forget
it.
Kim Cool. She's cool.
Yeah, so we got the application in, was fortunate enough to obtain the position, and I think it's everything because I've worked with volunteers. We've been able to build our volunteer base there. Volunteers are the most amazing people ever.
Yeah.
They just really, there's something about someone who voluntarily goes and does a difficult thing. You know, being a volunteer is not always glorious. It definitely isn't,
Yeah.
I can remember having a volunteer shirt for when I did something years ago, and it said, "Don't yell at me, I'm a volunteer."
Just a volunteer.
Stop yelling at me. But that's what they get sometimes,
Yeah. You're right.
Because the people that they're dealing with and providing service to sometimes aren't in the best state of mind,
Yeah.
and so it does. But they're there and they make the differences, the stories that I could tell. I'm actually going to be, my volunteers don't know it, but we're going to be composing a little something with their stories. And it'll probably be out sometime next year. But they all have a story in it, and it's so meaningful, and it changes their lives, and that's why they do it.
Yeah.
They do it as a give back. They don't do it with the intention of trying to feel good. They do it with the intention of trying to help others, but it comes back to them.
Their reward.
It's that karma. So I just love working with all of them. I love the fact that I'm so able to help people now because I've been out there and working in this medical field, and working with different resources. I'm always networking for new resources, looking like, what can we do? What can we add? Today I have a webinar where we're going to be taking food for families. I'm having the new person working there, come to my office. I'll be in my office, and I partnered with DoorDash, and we're going to see how we can use DoorDash volunteerism program to take those food for families packages that they send out
Yeah.
to homebound people who can't get out.
Wow.
So it's
Yeah.
that I have that I'm able to do that piece now, and I think that's why I love this so much.
Yeah. It gives you a lot of flexibility to look outside the box and figure out how to change, and having the volunteers and having people behind you, which means you're doing good. You're successful, because if not,
Right.
it wouldn't be.
Right. That's the thing. It's not about me. It's about helping our seniors in this area. We
Yeah.
have way too many seniors, and a lot of them don't know about the resources that are there. There's a lot of resources out there. I know we don't have everything, but there are things, and we can reach out into other counties and just find the right funding for what it is that they need to fulfill their needs.
How do you usually get people sent to you for the senior campus, or is this something that they apply for? They just show up for?
Just show up. Just show up. We're located at 2275 Train Road. They can come in anytime between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m. currently. We're right next door. The easiest way is if you're looking at City Hall. City Hall's on one side. The other side is Ken Fogarth Park, and I'm right in the middle.
Right there.
So if you know where Animal Shelter is or any of the city entities, we're in that hub. You can just ride around the circle and all the little resources are there.
Well, and there's a lot of resources. If they wanted to look up on your calendar and kind of figure out maybe something they may be interested in, where do they go for that?
So they can come in and they can pick up a newsletter monthly, and our September ones are being printed right as we speak. I should be picking those up when I leave here today. They can come in, they can pick one up. We have a little realtor box on the front of the building, so even if they're later at night or something like that, they can get one right out the front. They can get it online, or they can get it through an app on their phone. So they can go to the Bullhead City website, okay, bullheadcity.com. You look under Community, Senior Services, and then look to the left and you'll see drop downs for all the senior services.
And it was I went in there earlier. It was pretty easy to, you just click and click and click.
Yeah, they have a QR code also. I have that up on the screen.
Oh, perfect. So yeah, if you're sitting there watching, take a snapshot of that, and you should be able to just aim your camera at it, and then it'll
unless
tell
they're
you to
watching
go.
the show on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Then they have to just take a photo of it. And then,
Oh, they have to do it later. Okay.
yeah, that's right.
But you can go to that QR code, or the other thing that you can do, everybody downloads apps, right?
Yeah,
we all have
app
apps. So there is an app, and everyone should have this, regardless of if you're a senior or not. It's called Bullhead City Direct.
Oh,
Okay.
I just heard about this.
Okay, well, see,
Yeah.
now I'm going to make you get this app.
Yeah.
I'm making everyone get this app because it is so valuable.
It has everything that's
Yeah.
going on in town,
You
right?
download the app, and I don't know if this will show up on your
I
screen.
feel like
You have to search in wherever you get your apps from for Bullhead City Direct, and then the app will come up. Can you get in on that? I don't know if you can see that. No, too far.
Too far.
Too far. But there is a place where you can start a request, and
So
that's
just
why
type into your app store Bullhead City Direct.
That's it.
And it'll pull it right up.
Yep, it'll be the first one available there. Click on it, download it, and then the first thing you'll see is start a request. Now, let's say you're driving down the road and you see a stray dog running in between traffic. You can start a request and let us know right away.
Oh, wow.
And when you click the request, it starts to tell you, oh, he's got it up on the
Yeah,
screen
there you
now.
go.
I'm telling you, this is an invaluable app if you live here in Bullhead City, Fort Mojave. If you travel through Bullhead City, you want this app.
Yes.
Then,
I can't believe I remember talking to somebody about it, and I didn't download it, and I don't know why, but I will.
The other things that it has, you can get website access for Bullhead City and all the things that we do within the city. You can get job information for Bullhead City. You can meet your city council members. That way, when you see them out and about, you can tell them all the things you want. And if you scroll down, there is a spot where senior campus calendar, senior campus menu, parks and recreation, all their information is in there. There's also a Watch TV4 Live. So when city council meetings are on, that's always right where I go to watch
go
the
right
city
there.
council meeting.
Yeah. It's
so,
excellent.
Yeah, all that information is right there on the app.
Let's talk about this. So the amazing things that happen at the senior campus where seniors can go, and just even to be around people, let alone to join in on everything that you have. They can go in for a senior breakfast. They can go in for a senior lunch. But the Meals on Wheels is really for homebound. So
Correct.
I can't imagine that anyone who is preparing, for a retirement life to prepare for being homebound.
No.
Especially when you move out to these areas. A lot of people move out here and don't have a lot of family.
Yes.
So can we talk about that and maybe how that program would work? What if, my parents would need help? Is that something that I can do for them? Is that something
Yes.
they have to do for themselves?
You can absolutely do it for them. And what I encourage people, I just had a lady call me yesterday. She's like, my mom is totally against this. She feels like it's getting a handout. And I said, it's not. If she's not getting the proper nutrition, we can help her. So let's do this. You go through the process. You call. And that's
Get
what she did.
started.
I don't qualify them. I'm the delivery service. The entity that gets the federal funding to help qualify the individuals is WACOG, the Western Arizona Council of Governments.
Okay.
So it's WACOG. And the phone number is 1-800-782-1886. You call that number and then you leave your name, your phone number, and the city that you are looking for Meals on Wheels, because they help the entire county.
Oh, wow.
So if you have people in Kingman or Topak, they help the entire county
That's good to
get
know.
qualified. My program only delivers for Bullhead City. So I'm going
Each
to
area
kind of
has
focus.
its own.
Yes, they all have different things. Fort Mojave Valley doesn't have a program, although I found out some information at the conference recently, so I'm hoping we can expand those things. Because I know
I can't imagine that anyone's going to stop you from doing anything that you are willing to work hard to do.
there's a lot of
Especially
hoops.
when you see a need.
There's a lot of hoops.
I bet.
Yeah, but so right now they receive a service that's called Mom's Meals,
Okay.
but it's still through WACOG. They have to start this process through WACOG. Mom's Meals is, if you know what an Omaha steak package looks like, they come in
Yeah.
those carts with the frozen dry ice, and you get
The meats.
the meats and stuff. Well, this is prepared meals, so they get 14 meals in a package
Oh, wow.
delivered to them. Meals on Wheels, we like our service for the fact that we deliver. We do the extra thing that they get is someone checking on them, you know.
someone that sees
So
them.
that's why trying to develop this further is going to help people if we can do that, because having the eyes in there
Yeah.
and the ears to help translate what's happening in that household so many times.
That makes sense.
Yeah,
Your delivery people become probably part of your family, really.
you know, I've had volunteers that have gone in, and you have an individual who has nobody. They have no advocates. They're not making any friends because they can't barely get out of bed. And they're living in a bad situation. We can report that then to APS and get APS involved for them
Try to
to
help
be that
them.
advocate and to help. And we've been able to place people into assisted living homes in the area, which is
Good.
huge. It's
Yeah.
huge, you know. I call those my super success stories because sometimes it takes a bit. It takes a bit, you know, everything, you know, you
Everything's
can't
a
just jump.
process.
Yeah, everything is
Yeah.
a process, but it's important that we start those processes.
Man, I love it.
Mm-hmm.
So we have a new senior campus
Yes.
being built in the works. I'm sure that's been a lot of challenging. Oh yeah, we saw this picture. So we
Oh,
gotta-
that's awesome.
Yes.
That was my favorite day.
Oh my gosh. And so that will be in the same area as the other one,
Yeah,
correct?
so it's connected. And in fact, in the September newsletter, we are going to have a picture of the new building, and everything will be in there. So like I said, I'm picking those up later today. You'll be able to see on there, and it should be posted by the end of this week online as well. But the new building is connecting. So we're looking at a picture right now. People are standing where the new building is. That building off to the right, I guess it is, that you can see is my current building. So there's going to be a breezeway in between the two buildings.
Wow. I'm assuming it gives you a lot more room for activities and
Yeah.
things that you're needed.
All those trees that are there, those are all gone now. The next day I came into work.
Okay, you're live.
Okay, we
Sorry,
are
guys.
back. I'm here with Kim Cool. She is super cool. If you have not been watching, you should go back and watch it. We're talking about the Bullhead City Seniors Campus. There is a few things that we definitely want to touch on before we let you guys go. But how, I guess that probably a common question is, how can I help? How can I get a part of, your services and help seniors? So you have a few things.
Yeah, we have a whole form that you can come pick up if you don't catch any of this. By becoming a volunteer, number one, if you are, you can make a donation. So Meals on Wheels is a 501c3. So even though we're managed by the city, we have a separate board of directors that manages our 501c3, and we do fundraising and things like that to help offset the cost of our food and costs and things like that. So you can make a donation. We are a state charitable tax donation. Anyone can direct up to $400 per individual or $800 for a family. And we can give you information on how you can do that. You can come in and see me, drop the check off. I give you the receipt that you can give to your tax person. We take vehicle donations. We take home donations. So if somebody's looking to get rid of something, someone has maybe a home that passes away and the family, nobody's going to come live in it, we would be happy to tell you how we can take that off your hands. We have 2 programs that will actually do that through cars.com. You can donate to our Angels Essential area. So we have an area within our building where we keep durable medical equipment, wheelchairs, walkers, depends, bandages, all sorts of medical equipment. Shower chairs are probably one of the biggest things we get requests for. Anyone who is getting rid of those things can donate them to us Monday through Friday, 8 to 4. And then we open the Angels Essential area on Tuesdays between 10 and 1, and we have a nurse and an EMT that work back there.
Oh, wow.
And they will help people with, and
Figure out the need.
they're both like super amazing volunteers. And so yeah, they have the time to spend with them and make sure they're getting what they need to get to fulfill their needs. If they do, we say the people donated to us, we're donating it back to the community. If someone feels the need to give us a donation for a wheelchair or a scooter or something like that, that money gets deposited into our senior campus donations fund. So it goes right back into the senior campus fund that buys beading materials and yarn and cloth and all the for all of our activities that we do. Yeah,
to keep everyone busy.
Games, get more games. I just bought a couple of new games and things like that they can use. And with the new building coming about, we're going to need a lot of things because we're going to need to fill up the new rooms. So
Yeah.
that money helps that way. People can also donate gently used books, games, craft items, all of that type of stuff. If you have a question, I hate for anyone to bring stuff out and then I say, I don't have a place to put it. Please call me first at 928-763-0193. And we can discuss those items. Sometimes I give them a suggestion to where they can take the things that they're trying to unload.
Yeah.
And we do have a small pantry. It's just like a stack of shelves, so we don't have a giant pantry, but we do have some food that we then, again, also anything that's brought in, we redonate back out to individuals who are in the senior campus. And then if you shop at Smith's, you can always use, at the end of your purchase, you can, They'll ask you if you want someone to get credit for your purchase. You can
Oh.
choose Meals on Wheels.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
Look at that.
Yeah. So.
And that's at Smith's grocery store.
Yep. Yep.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So those are some of the many ways.
I hope that you guys have, feel a little more educated on this subject. Great, so much great information. Can
Thank
you
you.
just tell me what age qualifies you for?
Yes. So our building is open to individuals 50 plus.
Okay.
All the activities are open to anyone who is 50 plus. Pretty much everything is free. There's a few games where they involve nickels, dimes, that kind
Little-
of stuff.
Oh, yes.
But it's all fun within their table or group that does that. None of the activities that we do, though, we don't charge for, or crafts and things like that. And then anyone 50 plus can come in for breakfast at the cost of $2. And anyone 60 plus, because of the federal funding that we receive, can come in and have lunch between 11:30 and noon for a suggested donation of $3. Okay, so it's a suggested donation that helps to offset some of the funding that we get to fully pay for the meals when we collect those donations, but we will feed everyone irregardless of their ability to pay if they are 60 plus. You do have to come in. You do have to show an ID. I know you might tell me I'm 80 years old. Don't I look 60? I'm not going to make those determinations. I need your ID.
Yes. So if you are, just feeling the need to get out there and, maybe have been hesitant to do so, just go in, talk to the ladies. If it doesn't work for you, it doesn't work for you, and maybe it does. If you are a child of people who are maybe in need of help, now you kind of have the steps and tools and guidance to know where to start and what to do. Thank you so much for sharing your story with us.
Thank you.
You are so cool, as your name says. I think that we met the 20 cool, so Shane will have to buy me lunch.
Yay.
Yeah,
Better say
so
cool
thank
like
you.
5 more times. Just cool.
This is super cool. But no, in all honesty, what you have done for this senior campus and what you continue to do, I applaud you. When I started kind of getting into the community side of the world, your name was just always came up with just smiles and such positivity.
that
So
makes me happy.
I've really been dying to have you on here,
Oh,
and I
thank
thank you
you.
for your time. If you guys are looking for somewhere to volunteer or to donate, please don't hesitate to get a hold of Kim, and she'll be happy
And
to.
there's her number right on the screen.
Yes.
Perfect. Thank you so much, you guys. This was a pleasure. I thank you for sharing our word.
You're welcome. Shop local, support local, and have a good day.